Hello and welcome. Welcome everyone to this live telephone town hall meeting with Congresswoman Norma Torres of California's 35th Congressional District. I see we have a few folks on the line with us now. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Please stay on the line and our call will begin shortly. We will be joined by your Congresswoman Norma Torres, who is here to provide you with updates and answer any questions you may have. I'll run through this introduction again while we continue to connect to more and more of your neighbors in the 35th Congressional District. For those of you who are just joining us, hello, good evening. You are live on the line for this telephone town hall meeting with Congresswoman Norma Torres of California's 35th Congressional District. Standing by is your Congresswoman, joined by a panel of guest speakers specializing in the housing field, who will be updating you as well as answering your questions. With that being said, we would love for you to bring your questions live tonight. In order to submit your question this evening at any time during this call, please press 0 on your phone keypad. You will speak with an operator who will then place your question in line. If you don't feel comfortable asking your question live this evening, that's fine. Just let your operator know that you would rather have me read your question over the air. Either way, press 0 on your phone keypad to submit that question. You can also sign up for email updates from Congresswoman Torres' office by pressing 7. So that's 0 to submit your question and 7 to sign up for future email updates. You can do that now or at any time throughout this call tonight. Tonight, Congresswoman Torres is joined by a panel of experts in the housing field who will be providing us with information and answering questions. We'll be hearing from Lori Udick, Los Angeles HUD Field Office Director, who will be updating us on housing supply and affordability. Rebecca Franklin, President of the Cal HFA Homeowner Relief Corps and Director of Enterprise Risk Management and Compliance at Cal HFA, who will be updating us on the California Mortgage Relief Program. Destiny Flores, California Department of Insurance Outreach Analyst, who will be updating us on rental assistance programs. Nicole Beidler, Director of Policy and Public Relations for the Housing Authority for the County of San Bernardino, who will be covering rental assistance programs available through the county. And Clemente Mojica Jr., President and CEO of Neighborhood Partnership Housing Services, who will be discussing homebuyer programs and renter support. If you have questions for the Congresswoman or any of our panel of guest speakers tonight, be sure to press 0 on your phone keypad to get that in line. We'll start off with some updates from Congresswoman Torres and our guest speakers, and then we will have a live question and answer portion of tonight's meeting. So without further ado, I'd like to officially get us started off by turning it over to Congresswoman Norma Torres. Congresswoman, the floor is yours.
Thanks for that introduction, Ashley. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for tonight's Housing Telephone Town Hall. I am Congresswoman Norma Torres, and it is my honor to represent the Inland Empire in the U.S. Congress. June, as you know, is National Homeownership Month, so I wanted to take an opportunity to discuss housing assistance and hear directly from you about how Congress can better support renters, homeowners, and homeless individuals in our community. It shouldn't be a controversial opinion to say that everyone deserves a roof over their head, but the reality is far from that. In fact, fewer than 1/3 of local households can afford to buy a home in our community. The idea that if you work hard and put in the time, you should be able to buy a home or even rent an apartment is quickly becoming impossible for even middle-class families. In Washington, I'm working to reverse this very dangerous trend. I am proud to lead a congressional task force on affordable housing where I'm working to break through partisan gridlock and deliver affordable, accessible housing for folks in the Inland Empire and communities across our country. For the Appropriations Committee, the committee that I sit on, it is in charge of all federal spending. I'm working to fully fund the Department of Housing and Urban Development. I'm working to increase housing affordability and equity. I'm working to invest in affordable housing projects in our region, and I'm working to make sure states like California, who are trying to do the right thing, get the federal resources that they need to fight homelessness and lower housing costs. On that committee, I serve on the subcommittee that deals with housing and urban development. I brought home $54 million for affordable housing and assistance for homeless folks in San Bernardino, Riverside, and Los Angeles counties. And for those of you listening in from Fontana, just last year alone, I brought home $4 million for the Court Place Affordable Housing Project in the city of Fontana. That project is going to create more than 100 homes for low-income families and individuals in our community. And for the folks from Pomona, I brought home $800,000 to support the development of a 74-home affordable housing complex just half a mile southeast of the Pomona Metrolink station. This funding is going to open the door to home ownership for countless of Inland Empire families, but I know that there's still so much more that we can do together. Washington might be stuck in a partisan gridlock, but I have always worked with anyone from any party that is willing to deliver results. It is what I did at the state level during our budget crisis and what I do every single day in Congress. By the way, in the state legislature, I brought home to California $2 billion. And with that money, we created the Keep Your Home California programs, which help thousands of individuals across the state stay in their home. As someone who lost a house to a fire, I know what it's like to be without a home, so I take this fight very serious. I look forward to hearing your thoughts and discussing my work in Congress to address the challenges that we are facing right here in the Inland Empire. I'm also excited to be joined by a few very special guests, and once again, let me apologize to you for not joining you earlier and thanking you for being on this call. It is past 9 p.m. here in Washington, D.C., and I just finished my committee work. These very honorable guests will be helping to answer some of your questions about finding affordable housing and bringing down the costs for you in our community. Our guests are experts on housing assistance and have valuable practical insight into rent and down payment assistance, fire and disaster preparedness, financial guidance for aspiring homeowners, and what you can do if you or a loved one is facing homelessness. Thank you again for joining us this evening. I now will turn it back to Ashley, and please join us and ask your questions because we are here for you tonight. Once again, Ashley, I yield back to you.
Thank you very much, Congresswoman. And absolutely, we would love to have you join the conversation tonight, listening audience. So if you have a question or a comment now or at any time during this call, you just press 0 on your phone keypad to get in line. An operator will take some information and get that in line for you. You won't miss any of the conference while you're in line, so don't worry about that. If you'd rather have me read your question over the air, just let your operator know. Of course, we would love to hear your voice, but either way, press 0 to submit your question. You also have that option to press 7 now to register for future email updates from the Congresswoman's office. You can always reach out to your Congresswoman via her website at torres.house.gov or by calling her Ontario office at 909-481-6474. So we will go ahead and take this opportunity to introduce our guest speakers this evening. First, we are joined by Lori Udit of Los Angeles Housing Urban Development. Lori?
Great. Thanks so much, Ashley. Good evening, everyone. I'm really pleased to be with you tonight to share the latest on how the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development is supporting residents and communities with housing assistance. I want to first acknowledge our host, Congresswoman Norma Torres. Thank you for convening this webinar on the vital issue of housing assistance, and thank you for your longstanding leadership in bringing attention to the importance of housing resources for our communities. At the core of HUD's mission is the belief that everyone deserves the chance to live with security, dignity, and hope in a place that they can call home. This is why HUD is committed to doing everything we can to address critical housing supply and affordability challenges while working to advance affordable homeownership opportunities that ultimately serve to unlock generational wealth-building potential. So on that note, I want to wish you all happy National Homeownership Month. Home ownership is the primary way that many individuals and families begin to build generational wealth. HUD's Office of Housing and the Federal Housing Administration, or FHA, are at the forefront of access to home ownership by providing opportunities that enable first-time home buyers, particularly those low and moderate income households and communities of color, to attain affordable and stable home ownership. HUD recently announced that approximately 2.2 million homeowners with FHA mortgages, including over 210,000 homeowners here in California, were able to stay in their homes after they fell behind on payments, thanks to FHA's COVID-19 forbearance and loan modification programs, which allowed those homeowners to avoid foreclosure. And at the end of February, HUD and FHA reduced the annual mortgage insurance premiums for people with new FHA loans. That action is expected to benefit an estimated 850,000 borrowers over the coming year and will save those families an average of $800 per year across the nation and an average of over $900 per year here in California. For many families, those savings are expected to allow more homeowners to qualify for a mortgage and purchase the home of their choice. I also want to recognize the role of HUD-approved housing counseling agencies, which are an essential piece in the homeownership journey. Housing counseling agencies provide unbiased information to help homebuyers learn and prepare for homeownership and assist homeowners that may be facing foreclosure. And as we talk about homeownership, it's important that I speak to affordability. As I'm sure you're all aware, housing in America is less affordable today than at any time in modern history. And we see this especially here in California. High prices are, in large part, linked to the large and long-standing gap in supply and demand of affordable homes for both renters and homeowners. So I'd like to share what HUD's been doing on housing supply and affordability. Last year, we released a housing supply action plan that outlined a whole-of-government approach to increasing the supply of housing. HUD and the Treasury Department are working together to help governments use the state and local fiscal recovery funds from the American Rescue Plan to build more housing and more affordable housing in particular. Alongside our partners at the Department of Transportation, we've made $5 million available for a new Thriving Communities Technical Assistance Program to help local governments coordinate the building of housing within their transportation and infrastructure projects under the infrastructure law. We also understand that a greater supply of housing is an important part of the solution, but it's only one part among a broader set of actions. We recognize that rental affordability is a critical component of reducing homelessness and ensuring everyone in this country has access to safe, affordable, and decent housing. A major way we've sought to address this is through a historic expansion of rental assistance and voucher availability. We allocated 70,000 emergency housing vouchers to communities last year, and those vouchers have already helped more than 50,000 households find homes when the vast majority of these families were living on the streets or in shelters. And we recently announced nearly 20,000 new housing choice vouchers to housing authorities across the country. That's on top of approximately 80,000 housing choice vouchers that were initially distributed to communities across the country in fiscal year 2022. Lastly, I also want to highlight an initiative to assist unsheltered homelessness. Last month, the United States Interagency Council on Homelessness, USICH, launched an initiative called All Inside. All Inside is a key part of the All In, the federal strategic plan to prevent and end homelessness, which set a bold goal to reduce homelessness 25% by 2025. The White House, USICH, and the 19 federal agencies that make up USICH, including HUD, are partnering with select state and local governments for up to 2 years to strengthen and accelerate efforts to help people move off the streets and into homes where they can recover from the trauma of homelessness and rebuild their lives. I'm excited to share that the state of California was selected as one of the 6 communities for this initiative. And so I have no doubt that you all will be hearing more about this initiative in the coming months, and we can all expect to see that this initiative will help us toward every person having a safe and affordable home. And so now that wraps up my comments. Ashley, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you so much, Lori, for that information and mentioning those programs you offer. We're really looking forward to hearing the programs and opportunities all of our speakers' agencies are offering. Next, we have Rebecca Franklin of the California Housing Finance Agency. Rebecca?
Thank you, Ashley. And I want to take a moment to thank Congresswoman Torres for inviting me here today and helping spread the word about all of these great opportunities for Californians. As everyone has mentioned before, I have the honor of serving as the president of the Cal HFA Homeowner Relief Corporation, which administers the California Mortgage Relief Program on behalf of the state of California. To date, the program has provided nearly $450 million in assistance and helped more than 17,000 California homeowners who were previously struggling to make their housing payments and help them catch up from those COVID-related financial hardships. The California Mortgage Relief Program is using funds from the Homeowners Assistance Fund, which was created through the American Rescue Plan Act, a COVID relief bill in 2021. That's thanks to the support of many representatives like Congresswoman Torres. While $450 million does sound like a lot, we still have a lot of funds available for people in the Inland Empire and across the state who have missed their mortgage payments, who are late on their property taxes, that did a loan workout, either a partial claim or loan deferral and caught up on their past due payments through that with their servicer, or even people with reverse mortgages. It has been 18 months since we've launched the program, and we've seen so many wonderful stories of homeowners who were able to save their homes because of this program. Some of the homeowners even were just days away from being foreclosed on. That means to say, if you are a homeowner who's struggling to make your mortgage payments, property tax payments, if you're a struggling reverse mortgage holder, please connect with this program. We're here to help you, and time is of the essence. The money that we're distributing is on a first-come, first-served basis, so we really encourage homeowners to connect with the program as soon as possible. The program also has staff that is continually monitoring the need for different types of assistance, and we use this information to make expansions along the way to widen the pool of eligible California homeowners. We always want to make sure that we're meeting the market and meeting the needs of California homeowners as impactful as we can. While we continue to make the program changes if necessary for the duration of the program so the state can help as many homeowners as possible to find their way back to financial and home stability. These homeowners didn't cause the pandemic, and we know that certain groups of homeowners were hit harder than others financially from the pandemic, and we're here to provide help. Anyone who is, like I said, struggling to make their mortgage payments in the past have had struggles with their property tax payments or their mortgage payments, we encourage you to get information about the program by visiting our website, camortgagerelief.org. There we have different calculators and tools to see if you qualify. We also have a lot of different lists of other programs and other ways that homeowners can get assistance if maybe this program isn't for them. The program itself offers up to $80,000 in financial assistance that never has to be paid back. This is a grant. I want to repeat that because I think that's really important. This never has to be paid back. This is up to $80,000 in assistance. You can apply directly on our website, Our application is very easy to use. It takes about 15 minutes to fill out the entire application once you have collected a few easily accessible documents like a pay stub, a mortgage statement, a bank statement. We also have HUD-certified housing counselors and local community-based organizations to help you with your application. We also have our contact center number on our website, camortgagerelief.org, and we can walk you through the process. We're here to help. Even if maybe this program isn't for you, we want you to also share this with your neighbors, your communities, etc. This is out here for people to get help. We all know that COVID-19 caused a lot of unexpected financial hardships, and we want to help make sure Californians know there are many resources out there to get you back on your feet. Like I said, this is a personal situation. Many people have worked so hard to get these homes. This is a source of generational wealth. This isn't just a roof over your head. It's a place where your family gathered. It's a goal that you set forth and accomplished, and you didn't cause the pandemic, and the program recognizes that. So even if you may just want more information, we really do encourage people just to connect with us, calling our contact center or visiting us at camortgagerelief.org. Thank you again, Congresswoman Torres, for inviting me to speak today, and all of you in attendance today. Please connect with the program. We're here to help and share information. I'm going to turn it back over to Ashley now.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, for that update. And next up, we will be hearing from Destiny Flores of California Department of Insurance.
Good evening. Thank you, Congresswoman Torres, for hosting this town hall. Forums like this are an important way of sharing information that can help homeowners and businesses take charge of protecting their homes and local communities. Again, my name is Destiny Flores with the California Department of Insurance, Community Relations and Outreach Branch. My job is to inform consumers like yourself about how our state department protects you. We don't sell insurance. We regulate all aspects of the insurance industry to make sure that you are protected. We provide informational guides to help consumers understand insurance coverages and terms, prepare them for the process of making and settling a claim, and help consumers avoid some of the pitfalls that can occur along the way. From fraud to simple questions about your insurance policy, please know that we are here to help. One of the department's top priorities is helping people prepare for disaster before it happens so we can save lives, reduce losses, and recover more quickly. One of the ways a consumer can contact us is through our consumer hotline at 800-927-HELP, or 4357. Or online at insurance.ca.gov. We have live experts on the line assisting consumers with insurance-related questions. We can assist consumers in different languages regardless of their immigration status. As long as you are a resident of California and have an insurance question or issue, you can request our help. Consumers can also file a formal complaint online at insurance.ca.gov against insurance companies, agents, and brokers. And in addition, we inform consumers about the California Low-Cost Auto Insurance Program. This program is designed to provide income-eligible good drivers with liability insurance at affordable rates as a way to meet California's mandatory auto insurance law. The goal of this program is to reduce the number of uninsured motorists in California. We invite you to check out the website at mylowcostauto.com, or you can call them at 866-602-8861. We also inform consumers about the department's Senior Gateway, a one-stop website intended to provide seniors, their families, and caregivers with the information they need to connect to household services and resources throughout the state. So if you have questions about your home, auto, business, or other insurance-related matters, please don't hesitate to contact our department at our consumer hotline. And again, that number is 800-927-4357. Or again, please visit our website at insurance.ca.gov. That concludes our resources, and thank you again, Congresswoman Torres, for inviting us, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for that information, Destiny. And I do want to remind our listening audience that if you have a question for your Congresswoman or any of the special guests tonight, go ahead and press 0 on the keypad on your phone. You'll get in line with an operator who will take some information and get you in line with your question. Again, that's 0 if you have a question. Now we are going to be joined by Nicole Beidler of Housing Authority of the County of San Bernardino. Nicole?
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me, or asking me to join you in this discussion and share with you. Like the others before me, I also want to express our sincere thanks to Congresswoman Torres for not only hosting the town hall tonight, but also for being a tireless champion for affordable housing resources and a tremendous ally to the Housing Authority and to the communities that we serve. Thank you, Congresswoman Torres. So I'm here to share some information about the Housing Authority of the County of San Bernardino, also known as HACSB for short, and about some of the affordable housing and rental assistance programs that we administer. We are the largest provider of affordable housing in San Bernardino County, serving more than 10,000 individuals and families, the majority of whom are seniors, children, and individuals with disabilities. We serve families through a variety of federally funded rental assistance programs, the most well-known of which is the Housing Choice Voucher Program, also colloquially known as Section 8. There's a mouthful, colloquially. This program actually helps low-income families to afford rents for units that they lease from landlords in the private rental market. And within that program, typically customers pay 30% of their income as rent directly to the landlord, and the Housing Authority subsidizes the remainder of the rent by paying that directly to the landlord on behalf of the customer. So the Housing Choice Voucher Program is our core program, and it really is a vital one to the County of San Bernardino and the larger community that we serve, because the Housing Choice Voucher Program is positioned as a homelessness prevention program. So through this program, we're actually helping families who are struggling to pay their rent from ever falling into homelessness to begin with. So the most common question that we receive at HACSB is, how can I apply for affordable housing or rental assistance? So I want to share with you the most direct access to apply for any HACSB rental assistance program or affordable housing program is to visit our website, hacsb.com. So that's our initials for Housing Authority, County of San Bernardino, hacsb.com. And if you go there, at the top of the homepage, you'll be greeted with a banner inviting you to apply for housing assistance. It's the first thing that you'll see right there on our homepage. If you click that link, it'll take you to our applicant resource page, where you can find a lot more information about eligibility criteria, open waiting lists, access our applicant portal where you can submit an application, and a host of other information, including more details about other programs that we administer. We do administer a variety of rental assistance and affordable housing programs, many more than the Housing Choice Voucher Program alone. Some of those programs do target special populations, such as veterans or homeless individuals and families, and many, many other programs that I won't be able to cover in detail in the time that we have together this evening. So I want to leave off by encouraging you to visit our website, hacsb.com, for more information about the many programs that we offer and to access those application resources. Again, thank you all for having me here with you. I'm happy to take any questions when we get to the Q&A. Turn it back to you, Ashley.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for all of that, Nicole. And next we have Clemente Mojica of Neighborhood Partnership Housing Service. Clemente?
Thank you for that introduction, and thank you, Congresswoman Norma Torres, for inviting me to speak tonight about the resources that are available through Neighborhood Partnership Housing Services, NPHS for short. So my name is Clemente Mojica. I'm the Executive Director for NPHS. We are a HUD-approved housing counseling agency, and you heard that term being referenced earlier this evening. Our goal is to help first-time home buyers access and achieve equitable and affordable homeownership. We do that through housing education, homeownership education. We provide down payment assistance programs. We help families understand affordable and responsible first mortgage financing options. And it's very important to our listeners to understand that all of our programs are free. So I want to talk about a little bit about the down payment assistance, because when you look at the high cost of achieving homeownership in this real estate market that we're in, it's good for first-time home buyers to know that there are resources out there to help them make that homeownership process more affordable. Currently, right now, NPHS provides homeownership education to over 3,000 families a year. We provide down payment assistance. We currently have funds that provide, we have two programs. One that provides up to $100,000 in down payment assistance for first-time home buyers to purchase throughout Riverside, San Bernardino counties. We also offer a $10,000 closing cost grant. That is a grant to help lower-income families afford the closing costs on the first mortgage. When families come to NPHS, they enroll in our homeownership first-time homebuyer counseling program, where they meet with a counselor. They evaluate their financial situation. They look at their credit report. They assess their readiness to purchase. We provide them options of the type of mortgage financing that may be that's available and that's affordable to their economic situation. We guide them throughout the real estate process and the purchase of the home. We hold the family's hand all through the closing of their homeownership purchase. To enroll in our program, it's as easy as calling us, area code 909-988-5979. That's area code 909-988-5979. Ask our team, I'm a first-time home buyer. I would like to enroll in your home buying program so I begin my homeownership journey. Want to thank Congresswoman Torres again for being a strong advocate and ally for equitable and affordable first-time homeownership. Thank you so much for your partnership over the many, many, many years. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Clemente, and thank you to all of our speakers for that important information. Congresswoman, I know you had some questions for your speakers this evening. Would you like to get us started with those?
Absolutely. I just want to say, wow, the information that we just received, it's really, truly amazing. I can't imagine, having $100,000 assistance for a down payment and even $10,000 for a closing cost and all the other programs that are available. Let me ask Clemente, what other services do you have for current homeowners who may be having trouble paying their mortgages right now?
Thank you for that question, Congresswoman Torres. As a HUD-approved housing counseling agency, we also offer free. Homeowners should not be paying for these services. Free foreclosure intervention counseling. What we do is we help struggling homeowners understand their options when they're falling behind on their mortgage. We also educate them on the California Mortgage Relief Program. We direct them to the website. We help them understand that program. So we are a partner in that respect as well. So for homeowners that are struggling to make the mortgage payment, we are here to help you understand your options, help you understand how to work with your lender to work out a solution to avoid foreclosure, and it's a free service. I just want to make sure that's clear. Thank you, Congresswoman.
Thank you so much. And for everyone listening, my staff will follow up and put all of the information, the contact information on our website, and we will also follow up with an email to you if you share your email information with us on the call. Ashley?
Absolutely. And you can share that email information by pressing 7 on your phone keypad at any time during this call tonight, and an operator will take your name and email, and we'll get you signed up there. Fantastic. Well, Congresswoman, if you do you have any other questions you'd like to ask before we go to the listening audience?
I actually do, because there's so many of my neighbors and residents across my district have been asking this question about fire insurance. The fire insurance costs have nearly doubled in some cases. In other cases, they triple over the last 3-4 years. So for Destiny, can you tell us what resources does the Department of Insurance provide to guide the residents through the home insurance process?
Yes, thank you, Congresswoman Torres. We provide, informational guides to help consumers understand insurance coverages and the terms, as well as prepare them, for the process of making and settling, a claim. We encourage you to visit our website at insurance.ca.gov to view our residential insurance and homeowners and renters guide. This guide was designed, to give you a better understanding about the kinds of homeowners and renters insurance that, best fits you. We have various brochures on our website. Again, that's insurance.ca.gov.
Thank you. Ashley?
Absolutely. So if we are ready to go for live callers, or would you like to ask any more questions?
No, I'd love to hear directly from the live callers. Thank you.
Absolutely. No problem at all. Well, we are going to kick off our live Q&A session tonight with Raul from North Pomona. Raul, you are live on the line. Go ahead with your question.
Yes. I have a daughter that's a single mother with 2 children, and she was trying to find some Section 8 affordable housing in Pomona, but they're not accepting any applications, and she doesn't really have anywhere to go. She's here with us, but since we're running out of room in the house, she's looking for somewhere to go.
All
Sure,
right.
I'd be happy to help address that question. Sure, sorry about that. This is Nicole Beidler with the Housing Authority of the County of San Bernardino. So I can speak from the Housing Authority of the County of San Bernardino perspective. Pomona is not within our jurisdiction, but we work closely with our partners in neighboring cities and counties. One resource that we strongly recommend is contacting your county's coordinated entry system through the 211 telephone number. What would happen if your daughter contacts that phone number, you contact that number on her behalf, is they would do a screening to evaluate for what resources are needed, what barriers exist, and they would have the ability to connect her with a variety of resources. So even if the waiting lists for the voucher programs are closed, which unfortunately is a very common occurrence because the need is so much greater than the resources that we have to serve families within that program, the 211 telephone number is a great resource for connecting to other services, such as you may have rapid rehousing services within your program, within your community, such as the housing support program that may be administered by other partners in your community. So I definitely encourage you to contact 211 for other options.
This is Lori from HUD. I'll also add to that, in addition to the affordable housing resources provided from all of the public housing authorities, HUD also has a multifamily housing program that subsidizes affordable housing and multifamily developments. You can find information about those properties and the specific contact information for the entities that manage those properties in order to find out if there's availability on our HUD website, so HUD.gov, and then you would navigate to the HUD resource locator to find those multifamily properties. If you'd prefer, you can send an email to our Los Angeles office at CA Web Manager, WEB Manager, at HUD.gov, and we can send you the list of multifamily housing properties within the county, any counties that you're interested in. The way that those properties operate is they're managed by individual property management companies. So you would need to contact each property individually to determine if there's availability and submit an application.
I also want to chime in that the information line for San Bernardino is 311, but for Los Angeles County is 211.
All right, wonderful. Thank you all so much for that information, and thank you, Raul, for joining the conversation. Our next question will be coming from John in Pomona, who has asked me to read his question. John asks, is there any housing benefits for 100% disabled veterans to buy a house if their GI Bill benefits have run out?
This is
Rebecca?
Clemente with MP. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Rebecca could help us, but if Clemente can help us, go ahead.
Let me go ahead and defer to Rebecca, and then I'll just add after her.
I'm not sure on the VA benefits, but we do have other programs through Cal HFA that can help for disabled or for veteran programs. We also have programs for homeowners who have lost their homes in disasters such as fires, so they would be qualified as first-time home buyers under our programs for those. So I would recommend you going to calhfa.ca.gov for our programs.
Thank you. And this is Clemente with MPHS. I will add that we do get veterans where they can no longer use the benefit of their GI Bill for homeownership. And we've worked with a lot of veterans with our down payment assistance programs, and they've been successful at getting conventional financing and even FHA financing as well. So we've worked with veterans whose GI Bill they can no longer use. We're not experts at, the intricacies of how the GI Bill benefits trickle to the veterans, but we definitely understand that where they can no longer use it, we help them look at other options to structure the financing for their purchase of a home.
Wonderful. Thank you both so much for that information, and thank you, John, for your question. I hope that answers that for you. Our next question is coming from our Spanish simulcast. Carmen in Montclair asks, I am 72 years old. I'm now in a situation where I'm disabled since February due to arthritis. It is now very difficult for me to cover my rent. Are there resources for seniors? Are there less expensive housing options for seniors that are also accessible for someone like me? And looks like, Nicole, do you have an answer? Oh, Nicole, you might be on mute.
I apologize. I was on mute there. That's a tough question to answer because, again, it's a little bit of outside of our jurisdiction here in San Bernardino County. However, most housing authorities do typically offer or administer, rather, project-based vouchers. That's another sort of subcategory of that housing choice voucher program that I talked about for communities that specifically do serve seniors. So it would be the same structure of program where the family would pay 30% of their income towards rent, and the housing authority would subsidize the remainder of the rent there. And there are senior communities. Aside from that, I would have to defer to Lori if there are other programs that she might be aware of that specifically target assistance to senior citizens.
I can also, Carmen, the city of Montclair has some programs that they can help you with. And their phone number is 909-625-9417. 625-9417.
Fantastic. Thank you both. I'm sorry, go right ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to add those multifamily properties that I mentioned earlier. Similar to what Nicole shared, there are some properties that focus specifically on serving older adults. Again, you can email us at cawebmanager@hud.gov. We can get you the list of the properties in your area, or you can navigate to the HUD.gov website and find the list yourself. And then you can take a look at the specific properties, the ones you might be interested in, and determine availability.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all so much for that help. And hopefully, Carmen, that will get you some help that you need. Absolutely. We are going to go, to Leetla from Upland. Leetla, you are live on the line with your question. Go ahead. Are you there? Do you have us on mute?
Oh, I don't know. Did you say Lita?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes. My question was just regarding how to get a house, but I think everything is he gave the information. Hopefully I have the right phone number to call to see if they can help with down payments and closing costs. But that was my question. And I think I have the right number if it's 909-988-5979. And I'm good.
That is the correct number.
Huh?
That is the correct number. This is Clemente with MPHS. You got the right number.
Thank you so very much. That was all. That was my concern. I appreciate everything.
Well, thank you very much, Lita, for joining the conversation. I'm glad that we were able to get you that correct information. And we will go ahead next to Martha, who is asking, are there any resources for damages or repairs for my home? I'm a senior and have a disabled son, and I can't afford the prices for repair.
This is Clemente with MPHS. We do have a homeowner repair affordable loan that we offer for lower wealth families, especially seniors. So please give us a call to find out more about it. Again, the number is 909-988-5979 to learn about our home repair programs.
All right. Thank you very much. And listeners, we are going to shift the conversation at this point. We are going to do 2 polling questions. So our first one, what I will do is read the question. You will have 2 options to choose from, and you just vote by pushing the corresponding number on your phone keypad. So our first question tonight is, do you think the federal government is doing enough to combat homelessness and provide more affordable housing? Press 1 for yes and 2 for no. Again, do you think the federal government is doing enough to combat homelessness and provide more affordable housing? 1 for yes and 2 for no. I'll give everybody a moment to get their votes in. We really appreciate you joining the conversation this way. It's so important for the Congresswoman to know exactly how everybody is feeling on these topics. We really appreciate your input. And it looks like we are just about there. Thank you all so much for answering. And we will go ahead and do our second question, which is going to have 5 different options. So the question tonight is, how important is the issue of affordable housing to you? Press 1 for very important, 2 for somewhat important, 3 if you're neutral, 4 for somewhat unimportant, or 5 for not important at all. Again, how important is the issue of affordable housing to you? 1 for very important, 2 for somewhat important, 3 for neutral, 4 for somewhat unimportant, or 5 not important at all. Thank you very much for voting in these polls tonight. We really appreciate you letting us know your opinions on these important topics. And while everybody finishes up there, we are going to go ahead and get our next question going. It looks like we've got Martha in Ontario who asks, are there any resources for damages? I just read Martha. I'm so sorry. Let's try that again. Monica from Ontario. There we go. How will they create more affordable senior housing in Ontario? With voucher or rental assistance? Let's see here. How about we go to Lori? Do you have some information for Monica?
Yeah, I would say, the programs that I mentioned previously in terms of the work with Department of Transportation, looking at the transportation and infrastructure projects and making sure that housing is part of those plans. The other thing that I'll note is that the Department of Treasury also took a look at their LIHTC, their low-income housing tax credit program. They finalized their income averaging rule, and that will help expand the use of the low-income housing tax credit to build more affordable homes. So not specific to that community, but really across the country, which is exciting. One of the things that's key to more affordable housing is the financing that it takes in order to build that affordable housing. And so these are some of the key tools and levers that are being used at the national level to help finance and help support and incentivize the development of affordable housing at the local level.
And Monica, I also want to chime in and give you the phone number to the Ontario Housing Department, and they can be reached at 909-395-2006. The one thing I do have to say about all the cities that I represent is that they have been very, very good about building, their fair share of housing. A lot of them are affordable, and many of our cities are very focused on providing affordable housing units for our seniors and people with disabilities. So I want to take this opportunity to thank all of the cities that I represent and the counties of Los Angeles and San Bernardino County for doing, as much as you are doing. It's never enough, and the polling question right now, truly identifies the fact that you don't think that we are doing enough to help build more units. It is a complicated issue, and here in Congress, that is why I am fighting so hard to ensure that I send the money to our local jurisdictions and then get out of their way and let them do their magic and build the units that we need, that they know that we need. But I also want to give some information tonight to the residents that I represent in San Bernardino County specifically. You are eligible, if you are eligible for FEMA assistance due to flooding earlier this year, you have until July 20th to apply for relief. Visit the disasterassistance.gov to learn more about your eligibility. So again, for San Bernardino County residents who might have had some flooding damage during the storms that we had earlier this year, you only have until July 20th to apply for disaster assistance. So, give us a call. If you need more information about this, we're happy to provide you and help you through this process. Ashley?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. And we'll do one last question here since we are coming close to our close. We have Mercedes from Fontana who has asked me to read her question. Mercedes asks, how can we get help to buy a house? We lost our first home in 2012 due to the banking crisis, and other counties have provided assistance. Rebecca, do you have some information for Mercedes?
I think, again, visiting the CalHSA website at calhsa.ca.gov, we have a number of different down payment assistance programs. You would work with a local lender and able to match with one of our programs. We have varying down payment assistance programs, as well as if any current homeowners are in facing foreclosure or behind on their payments, there's the California Mortgage Relief Program itself.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that information, Mercedes. I hope that answers your question and gets you the information that you need. With that, it looks like we have had so many great questions this evening, but it does look like we've answered as many as we could in our allotted time. Thank you so much to Congresswoman Norma Torres for taking the time to answer all these questions, as well as everybody on the panel. Just a wonderful, wonderful call. If anyone listening in still has any questions, comments, or concerns, stay on the line till the very end of this call to leave a voicemail message. You'll follow the prompts and leave us your name and best contact information, and a member of the Congresswoman's team can get back in touch with you. Congresswoman, do you want to bring us to close?
Yes, thank you so much, Ashley, and to all of our guest speakers tonight. I very much appreciate you taking the time to help my constituents, and I want to thank everyone for joining us and extend, again, I'm so grateful to the speakers for their valuable insights. Your feedback shapes my work here in Congress. I am in Washington, D.C. Today and tomorrow. It also helps me build a better future for our communities. I will continue working with my colleagues on the Affordable Housing Task Force with the Biden administration and with any state and local authorities to ensure that Inland Empire residents have access to safe and affordable housing. I will always fight to bring federal resources back home to our community and make sure that our community members have the housing support that they need. Remember, you don't have to wait for the next town hall to make your voice heard. If you have any questions or want to share your opinion, I encourage you to call my district office in the City of Ontario at 909-481-6474, or you can reach me here in Washington, D.C. at 202-225-6161. You can also log on to my website at torres.house.gov, sign up for our email newsletters. We no longer do the daily COVID email, as you know, COVID, the emergency order has, finished, but we do send out a monthly email. So please stay up to date with our information or join us any of our social media handles. Thank you again for the time, and thank you for trusting me to be your voice in Washington. Have a good night, everyone, and I wish you a safe rest of your night.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.